So I usually try to ask myself where mazingira gani ama eneo gani ambalo ningependa kufanyia kazi, and I do to my utmost level try to create such an environment.
How do you deal with building up a team, retaining the Gen Z talents, and sharing that vision that you have, and them getting to own it? How are you dealing with all that?
That's
Guys,
it takes a village.
This is Lillian would build this a whole lot of money,
Yeah, man.
but she's sharing here now.
What does it take
for free?
What does it take to build? So I usually try to ask myself where mazingira gani ama eneo gani ambalo ningependa kufanyia kazi, and I do to my utmost level try to create such an environment with the resources that I have available. So moja, the recruitment is important. Kuna wakati sasa hivi tumefikia level fulani ya kusema kwamba recruitment yetu has to be within our pipeline. So kind of like you start as a volunteer or an intern, then you get you get onboarded and then you go up. Because we learned we have to learn you have to learn more about us, and we need to date. The dating has to happen so that we figure out where we are on each other's levels. That's one. But most important, sasa in the event kwamba tumesha date na umeshaka hapo, there's one thing that this was a culture that I got from IPF, right? Because you all know our product Jam Friday was inspired by
IPF. Hack It Friday.
So, things like that, I found that they help to build culture. So our product Jam Friday for us, it's about kitu kujifunza, so you're teaching others. On Monday, we have Monday Kickstart meetings. And one of the things we do is we always have 30 minutes of prayers. Somebody has to be doing the prayer session. Yani kila mtu ana round. Kila mtu lazima na wote Waislamu kwa Wakristo wote tunasoma Quran nyingine, tunasoma kwenye Biblia. And for me that was important because religion or spirituality is something key. I would not do half the things that I'm doing if it was not for God. So and from the beginning, I think when we're starting to build and we're like, this will be our foundation and that's what we'll stand on. So vitu kama hivyo, being able now sasa kwanza kukunini kwamba mtu kianza basic things, so kuna health insurance, yani tunamretain vipi huyo mtu, kwa sababu uhalisia wa mambo as entrepreneurs in the marketplace, it gets a bit tricky because unapambana to get good talent from the big corporates, right? So what are those small things that you can do so that you can at least get hawa watu the same quality of talent, right? So that you can build, kwa sababu the reality of the matter, you need people on the same wavelength for you to move faster. Otherwise, unajikuta kwamba you're doing a lot of training before you're able to move forward. So being able to start providing some of those little perks, incentives in one or another, ambazo incentives zingine zinakuja vipi, very small, lakini mwisho wa mwaka, kwapo kuna ka package fulani kwamba jamani basi, asanteni, it has been a good. So small things, but they add up to be something bigger. Doing our best to have that whole listen approach. It's not an easy one. As an entrepreneur, as the boss, as the leader, kwamba I am willing to listen to whatever anybody has to say, and learn. And when I am wrong, I am also willing to say hapa nimekosea. Na kuwepo na kuto nimekosea. And you just find aina moja ama nyingine ya kiutu uzima kusema umekosea, but tunasema umekosea. So, back to in terms of how do we recruit, I think you recruit for aptitude, attitude. You train for the skills. We were in a certain phase of that. You recruit for people who have the same values, kwa sababu you might get a technically sound human being that they're awesome at what they're doing, but ukamuingiza kwenye team, ukashangaa team imeharibika, yani mambo hayaendi, right? So at the end of the day, it's about people who can actually work with all the other team members, because at the end of the day, we're not working in silos, we're working in teams. however you look at it. So if you are somebody who is looking at starting at employee 000, many 000 hata kwenye registrar sasa hivi, kamtafuta 001. So as you're starting to scale that up, it's looking for people who more or less have the similar characters. But samahani, kwenye hii issue ya character, pia you have to be very, very careful. There are a couple of hires ambazo nilifanya mimi mwenyewe and I did not do well. So also getting people who are knowledgeable in that space. So when it comes to recruitment, I learned early on to leave Juliana to do the recruitment. That it also takes away my biasness, kwa sababu unajikuta saa nyingine you hire watu ambao wanafanana na wewe. It's just a human nature thing, and not necessarily people who will be able to do and deliver. So as much as you can,